The night after their visit to the zoo, Kira could not sleep. Her small room in the family's sky apartment glowed softly with starlight from the city dome. She kept turning the hollow recorder in her hands, replaying the empty human exhibit again and again. Each time she saw the blank habitat and the words "reconstruction in progress," her curiosity grew stronger. Her mother, Sira, entered the room and saw her daughter still awake. "Kira, it is late. You need rest. Tomorrow you have school." Kira nodded, but did not look away from the small screen. "Mother, do you think the humans really disappeared?" Curator Thalen said they were from a place called Earth. "Maybe they are still out there." Sira smiled gently. "The galaxy is large, my child. Perhaps they are, but some mysteries are better left alone." Kira lowered her recorder. "But I want to know. Everyone at the zoo seemed afraid of them, yet the curator spoke of them like heroes. Which is true?" Her mother sighed and sat beside her. "Both can be true. The humans were strong and brave, but also unpredictable. They built wonders, yet they also fought many wars. That is why most people fear them. They could survive anything, and that made others uneasy." Kira thought about this for a long time. If they were so strong, then why did they leave? "No one knows," Sira said softly. "Now sleep." She kissed her daughter's head and turned off the light. But Kira's mind did not rest. Long after her mother left, she looked out at the stars through her window. Somewhere out there, she thought, there might still be humans watching from the dark. The next day, Kira went to school, but she could not focus on her lessons. While her classmates talked about entertainment streams and new hologames, she kept thinking about the human exhibit during break time. She opened her school tablet and searched the galactic network for humans. The results were limited. Most pages were archived or restricted by the council. The few she could open showed pictures of tall beings with 2 eyes, 2 arms, and skin in many colors. They looked ordinary compared to the other species of the galaxy. Yet something in their eyes made her pause. There was life there. A spark of determination she had never seen before. An old article described how humans came from a Class 9 death world. A planet filled with storms, volcanoes, freezing winters, and deserts of fire. The article said that humans not only survived these dangers, but learned to live among them. They tamed fire, built machines to fly, and reached the stars through their own effort. The more Kira read, the more fascinated she became. Every species she knew had been guided to space by another civilization or by advanced technology left behind by older races. But the humans had done it alone. Her teacher noticed her distraction. "Kira, please close your tablet. History lessons are not about ancient myths today." Kira quickly obeyed, but she made a decision. After school, she would go back to the zoo. That evening, as the city lights dimmed and the floating trams glided quietly through the air, Kira returned to the zoo. The gates were closed to visitors, but she knew a small service path near the maintenance entrance. Her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She slipped through the shadows, using her small size to stay unseen. The zoo was silent at night. The creatures in their enclosures rested, their shapes barely visible behind the glass. The air smelled faintly of metal and flowers from the artificial oxygen gardens. Kira moved carefully toward the Death World Predator section. The lights were lower here, and the air felt heavy. When she reached the human exhibit, she saw the empty enclosure again. It looked just as before, except now the faint blue light she had noticed yesterday was stronger. She pressed her hands against the glass and whispered, "Hello? Are you still here?" To her surprise, a small vibration passed through the glass. She stepped back, startled. Then a faint sound came from inside. Like an old machine starting up after a long sleep, the metal ruins inside the enclosure began to glow with soft blue lines. A hidden panel opened on the back wall, revealing a doorway that led into darkness. Kira hesitated. Every part of her mind told her to call for help, but her curiosity pulled her forward. She squeezed through the small gap and entered the hidden chamber. Inside, she found herself surrounded by strange objects covered in dust. There were helmets made of metal, strange boxes with buttons, and long panels filled with symbols. In the center stood a round device with the word NASA carved into it. She did not know what it meant, but it looked important. Kira reached out and touched the surface of the device. Immediately, the air around her shimmered. A holographic image appeared above the table, showing a figure she had never seen before, a human. It was a man with short dark hair and tired eyes. He wore a uniform with a flag symbol on his arm, red, white, and blue. His voice echoed softly through the room. "If you are seeing this, it means the stars still shine and life still goes on. My name is Captain Aaron Hayes of the United Earth Expedition. We are the children of Earth. We came here to share our story, not to be feared, but to be understood." Kira froze, unable to speak. The man's expression was calm and kind, but his eyes carried a deep strength. "We came from a world that tried to kill us every day," he continued. "We faced storms, hunger, and our own mistakes. But we learned, grew. And when we reached the stars, we wanted to bring hope, not war. Yet, fear followed us, as it always did. So we left before that fear could destroy what we stood for." The hologram flickered for a moment, then continued. "If this message survives, know this: humanity never dies. We endure, we adapt. And when the galaxy is ready, we will return." Then the image faded, leaving only silence. Kira stood still, her heart pounding. The humans were not gone. They had chosen to leave. They had done it to protect others, maybe even to protect themselves. She looked around the chamber again and noticed a small blue crystal glowing on the floor. It pulsed gently, matching the rhythm of her heartbeat. When she picked it up, symbols appeared above it in golden light. She could not read the words, but one stood out clearly: signal active. The crystal was transmitting something far above the city. On a hidden orbital station, sensors flickered to life for the first time in centuries. A satellite buried under layers of debris detected the signal and sent it toward deep space, in the command center of the zoo. Alarms briefly flashed on the curator's console. Thalen woke from his rest and looked at the screen. The alert read, "Old network activation, origin, human exhibit." He hurried to the transport lift, his heart beating faster than it had in years. Back in the chamber, Kira heard footsteps approaching. She hid behind one of the old machines as the door opened. Thalen entered, his robe trailing behind him. His eyes widened when he saw the glowing device and the floating message still echoing faintly in the air. "So it was true," he whispered. "They left a message for us." Kira stepped out slowly. "I am sorry, Curator Thalen. I didn't mean to break anything." Thalen looked at her with surprise. "Child, you did not break anything. You awakened it. Do you realize what this means? The humans wanted someone to find this. Perhaps they were waiting for the right moment." He studied the crystal in her hands and smiled softly. "You have done something remarkable. But now, we must be careful. If this signal reaches the wrong ears, there will be panic. Many fear the return of the humans." Akira held the crystal close to her chest. But why would they fear them? They were strong and brave. They helped others. Thalen sighed. "Because power and courage can look like danger to those who do not understand it? Still, perhaps it is time for the truth to be known." As they left the chamber, the lights dimmed again, but the crystal in Kira's hands continued to glow softly. Somewhere in the endless dark between the stars, the ancient human signal traveled farther and farther, awakening machines long forgotten. And on a distant world beyond the edge of known space, a set of eyes opened, human eyes. After Kira and Thalen left the hidden chamber in the human exhibit, the zoo was silent once again. The soft hum of machines blended with the distant noises of sleeping creatures. Kira clutched the glowing crystal tightly. Its light pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. She had never seen anything like it before. Thalen looked at her with a mix of pride and concern. "Kira, this crystal is a key to knowledge that the galaxy has almost forgotten. Humans left it here for someone to find when the time was right. And you found it." Kira's eyes widened. "What does it do, Curator Thalen?" He knelt down to her level and spoke in a low voice. "It carries a record of the humans' history, their struggles, and their victories. It is called the Memory of Earth. Those who can read it will see how a species survived danger that would have destroyed most others. Kira's curiosity burned brighter. Can I see it? Thalen hesitated for a moment. It is powerful knowledge. You must promise to be careful and to respect it. Kira nodded eagerly. I promise. Thalen guided her to a small observation room hidden behind the exhibit. It was filled with old screens, hollow projectors, and archives that had not been touched for centuries. When Kira placed the crystal on the central console, golden symbols appeared, spinning in the air. The screens lit up one by one, showing images, videos, and maps from Earth long ago. Kira gasped. She saw forests, oceans, deserts, and mountains. She saw humans building cities, farming, and sailing across seas. She saw humans studying the stars, testing rockets, and exploring the unknown. And she saw humans in moments of danger, storms destroying homes, fires consuming forests, and creatures attacking villages. Yet the humans survived every time. They adapted. They learned. They kept moving forward. Thalen watched her face. Do you understand now, little one? The humans were more than just strong creatures. They were survivors in the truest sense. Every challenge made them smarter, braver, and more determined. Kira nodded slowly. But why did they leave the galaxy? Why did they disappear? Thalen sighed. Because some feared them. Many species did not understand the human strength and ingenuity. They feared that humans would take over or change the balance of power. The humans did not want to fight. They left quietly, moving beyond the known worlds to prepare for the future. Kira pressed a button on the console. A video played, showing humans exploring alien planets, helping wounded species, and teaching technology to struggling civilizations. They were helping others, she said in awe. Yes, Thalen said softly. Even though they could dominate, they chose to protect. That is why many call them heroes. That is also why some call them dangerous. Strength without kindness is feared. Strength with kindness is admired. Humans carried both. Hours passed as Kira explored the human memory. She learned how humans built machines that could fly through storms, grow food in deserts, and purify water in dangerous conditions. She learned how they created communication networks, medicine, and even art that inspired generations. Every page of the memory showed creativity, courage, and resilience. Then, in the middle of the archives, a strange signal appeared on the screens. It was not part of the memory, but a live transmission coming from deep space. The signal pulsed with the same blue light as the crystal. Thalen's eyes widened. This is impossible, he muttered. They are sending a message. Kira looked at him. Who? The humans? Yes, Thalen said. Somewhere out there, they are awake. They have been watching the galaxy, and now something has triggered them to reach out. The signal formed a holographic image in the room. It was a human, a woman this time, dressed in a uniform unlike anything Kira had seen. Her face was calm and confident, and her eyes held centuries of knowledge and experience. Greetings, she said. I am Captain Arya Holt of the United Earth Exploration Corps. If you are seeing this, it means the galaxy is ready to hear the truth. We left not because we were weak. We left because the galaxy was not ready for our strength. But the time has come. Humans are returning. Kira's small voice trembled. They are real, Thalen nodded. More than real. They are alive, watching, and learning. And they have sent this message for us, little one, to prepare the galaxy for what is coming. The human continued. We come not as conquerors, but as allies. We have studied every world, every species, and every challenge. Our purpose is to share knowledge, protect life, and help civilizations grow. Those who fear us will learn. Those who seek understanding will gain allies beyond imagination. Kira's mind raced. Are they going to come to our planet? That is the next step, Thalen said. Soon, humans will travel through the galaxy again. But for now, this message is enough to inspire hope. Humanity has returned, even if only through memory and signal. The screens began to show star maps, indicating human colonies and hidden outposts far beyond the known regions. Kira could see points of light moving across space, signaling that humans were not idle. They were growing, exploring, and preparing for the day they would return openly. She felt a strange excitement. Humans were not just stories. They were living examples of what determination, intelligence, and courage could achieve. And they were coming back. Thalon looked at her, his eyes soft with emotion. "Do you see now why they are called Death Worlders?" Kira nodded slowly. "Not because they were dangerous, but because they survived everywhere. They were stronger than anyone expected, and they helped others even when no one could understand them." "Yes," Thalon said. "You understand well. Humanity is not just a species. They are a lesson. A reminder that no matter how harsh the world is, life can rise, adapt, and grow stronger. That is what they left behind for us." Kira could not stop thinking about it. She imagined humans walking among stars, teaching, exploring, and protecting. She imagined the empty exhibit at the zoo and realized that it was not a place of loss, but of potential. It was waiting for the day the galaxy could see humans again. The days that followed were full of activity in the zoo. Thalon spent long hours preparing the archives and examining the signal. Kira returned often, learning more about human technology and history. Every time she entered the hidden chamber, new messages appeared, each one explaining a different part of human life. From their engineering marvels to their arts and culture, the humans' memory was vast. Kira learned that they had faced dangers even greater than predators. They had survived climate disasters, wars, and threats that could have wiped out entire civilizations. Yet every time, they rebuilt, improved, and reached higher than before. Kira shared what she learned with her friends, though carefully. Many of them had only heard legends about humans. Some thought they were myths, others feared them. Kira tried to explain the truth. Humans were not monsters, nor gods. They were clever, brave, and kind in ways that the galaxy had almost forgotten. Thalon observed her efforts and smiled quietly. "You are spreading knowledge, little one." That is what they would have wanted. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the capital, the signal from the human crystal grew brighter. It pulsed faster and stronger, filling the human exhibit with blue light. Kira and Thalon stood together, watching the energy spread. Suddenly, the archive systems activated on their own. Old files, thought lost for centuries, began opening. They displayed human colonies, exploration ships, and messages of guidance for other species. The signal was no longer dormant. It was active, awake, and reaching across the stars. Thalon turned to Kira. "The humans are not only sending memories, they are preparing the galaxy for their return. And you, little one, have become part of that preparation." Kira felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. She looked at the glowing crystal and whispered, "I will do my best to help them be understood." Thalon nodded. "That is all anyone can do. Knowledge is the first step. Understanding comes next. Humanity's return will change everything, but the galaxy must be ready to see them as they truly are, not as predators, but as protectors and teachers." Outside, the stars twinkled, as if aware of the human signal spreading through space. Somewhere, far beyond the edge of known regions, human eyes watched and calculated. Their ships moved silently, their colonies prepared, and their purpose clear. The memory of Earth had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Weeks passed after Kira discovered the hidden human archive. The galaxy began to feel different. News networks, once full of gossip and minor disputes, buzzed with reports of strange signals from unknown regions. Scholars and explorers speculated about lost human colonies and wondered if the stories of Earth were true at the zoo. Thalon worked tirelessly with Kira. Together, they decoded the signals, projected maps of human colonies, and read messages left in the memory of Earth. The archive revealed ships designed to survive the deadliest planets, tools to rebuild devastated worlds, techniques to restore ecosystems destroyed by time or war. Kira could barely contain her excitement. She studied the maps carefully and realized something incredible. The humans were not just alive. They were ready to return. One morning, Thalon approached her with a serious expression. Kira, the galaxy must prepare. The humans are moving. Soon, their presence will be known to all civilizations. Kira's eyes widened. Moving? You mean they are coming here? Yes, Thalon said. They are returning openly. Some species will welcome them. Others may fear them. We must help the galaxy understand who they really are. Kira thought of the zoo's empty human exhibit. She imagined the humans walking through these halls, teaching the visitors, sharing their knowledge, and inspiring everyone. She shivered with excitement. Far beyond the zoo, at the edge of the known galaxy, the first fleet of human ships moved in formation, sleek, metallic, and efficient. The vessels glided silently through space. Each one carried supplies, knowledge, and a carefully selected crew. The human fleet was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. On the lead ship, Captain Arya Holt stood on the observation deck, looking at the stars ahead. Her crew, a mix of humans and allied species, worked diligently to maintain the course. "Status report," she asked. Lieutenant Marcos, her second-in-command, replied. "All ships are in position, Captain. Communication networks are active. The first signals have reached the Council worlds." Arya nodded. "Good. Begin public transmissions. Let them know humans are returning peacefully. Our goal is to teach, protect, and rebuild. Any species that fears us must understand that our strength is not a threat, but a gift."
Ow.
Marcos looked at her with admiration. "It will be unprecedented. Many will doubt the humans' intentions. Then we will show them," Arya said firmly. "Actions speak louder than words." Back at the Andromedan capital, the Galactic Council convened an emergency meeting. Reports of the human signal and fleet movement spread across their networks. Representatives from dozens of species argued, speculated, and feared. "Humans?" said a tall reptilian diplomat named Zarak. "We thought they vanished centuries ago. Are you certain?" "Yes," another delegate replied. "The signal is active. Their colonies are reporting movement toward central systems. If this fleet reaches populated worlds, we must be ready." Thalon attended the meeting as an observer. He watched the fear and excitement on the faces of council members. He understood it well. He had seen the humans before, had worked alongside them, and knew their power and wisdom. But he also knew how the galaxy misunderstood them. He rose to speak. "Honorable members of the council, I have known humans. I have seen their strength, their intelligence, and their compassion. They are not invaders. They do not seek domination. They survive, yes, but they also teach, heal, and inspire. The galaxy fears them because they are capable of greatness. We must prepare, not for war, but for understanding." A murmur spread through the chamber. Some species nodded, while others remained skeptical. At the zoo, Kira and Thalon continued studying the signals. Every day the blue crystal glowed brighter. The humans' messages became clearer and more urgent. Holomaps displayed the fleet's movements, and Kira could see how carefully the humans were planning. Every ship, every colony, every message was designed to avoid unnecessary conflict and to offer assistance wherever it was needed. Kira turned to Thalon. "They are amazing. Why would anyone fear them? They are helping everyone." Thalon smiled. "Because power without understanding often scares those who have less of it. But humans are patient. They wait for the moment when others are ready to accept them. And that moment is approaching." Kira clenched her fists, excitement burning inside her. "I want to meet them. I want to see humans for real. And I want everyone to understand them like I do." Thalon nodded. "Then you must help spread their message. Knowledge is the first step toward trust. If we can teach others to see humans as they are, the galaxy will welcome them." Days turned into weeks, and the human fleet drew closer. Their ships reflected the light of distant suns, creating a breathtaking display across the galaxy. News channels broadcasted their movement. Some planets celebrated the return of humans. Seeing an opportunity to learn from the species that had survived the deadliest world known, other civilizations prepared defenses, sure if they could trust beings with such power. Kira spent every spare moment at the zoo. She walked through the Death World Predator exhibit, Imagining the humans walking among the creatures they had once studied, she felt a strange sense of pride. The humans were not just powerful, they were a symbol of hope. Fallon watched her quietly. "You understand now, don't you?" he asked. "Yes," Kira said. "They survived everything, and they still help others. They are not just strong. They are good," Fallon nodded. "Exactly. That is why the galaxy must see them clearly. Fear will fade when knowledge takes its place." One morning, the signals from the human fleet reached the zoo. The crystal glowed intensely, projecting holograms across the Death World Predator exhibit. Kira and Fallon watched in awe as images of humans interacting with alien species appeared. Humans shared technology to purify water on desert planets, to repair cities damaged by storms, and to teach advanced medicine to wounded species. Kira's heart raced. They are really coming. Soon, everyone will see them. Fallon nodded. And when they do, the galaxy will change. Humans are not just survivors. They are teachers, builders, and protectors. Their return will inspire all civilizations to reach higher, to grow stronger, and to live together in ways we have never imagined. The signals continued to display humans walking through alien cities, helping those in need and teaching knowledge that had been lost for centuries. Kira felt a deep connection to the humans she had never met. She understood why the galaxy had both feared and admired them. "They are amazing," she whispered. "I want to meet them so badly." Fallon placed a hand on her shoulder. "Soon, little one, soon. And when that day comes, you will witness the greatest lesson the galaxy has ever known, that true strength comes not from power alone, but from the courage to help, to create, and to survive together." As the days passed, the galaxy began to prepare. Council members sent delegations to meet the fleet. Scientists studied the incoming technology, and citizens of countless worlds watched the skies in anticipation. Kira could hardly sleep, thinking about the humans approaching. She walked through the empty zoo halls at night, imagining humans returning to walk among the Death World predators once more. She felt a sense of awe and hope unlike anything she had experienced. One night, she held the glowing crystal. It pulsed brightly and projected one last holographic message. A human voice spoke, calm and strong. "We are returning not as conquerors, but as allies. We come to teach, to protect, and to inspire. The galaxy is vast, but together we can make it safer, stronger, and full of life. Humanity has survived the deadliest worlds, and now we bring that knowledge to all who wish to grow." Kira looked at Fallon. "They are really coming. I can feel it." Fallon smiled. "Yes, little one. Humanity is coming home. And when they do, the galaxy will see what true courage, strength, and kindness can achieve." Outside, the stars above the Andromedon capital shone brighter than ever, as if welcoming the first return of humans in centuries. Somewhere in the darkness of space, ships glided silently, carrying the children of Earth back into the galaxy that had long awaited their arrival, and the Death World Predator exhibit. Once a place of mystery and fear, now held the promise of something greater, a lesson in survival, courage, and hope for every species that called the stars their home.
In the center of the Andromedan capital stood the largest zoo in the galaxy. It was known across hundreds of star systems as a place where visitors could see creatures from distant and dangerous worlds. Each planet had its own section, carefully designed to match the environment of its homeworld. There were oceans of liquid methane for the beasts of Titan, floating islands of gas for the winged creatures of Hraxes, and underground tunnels for the burrowers of Kaloon. Among all these strange habitats, one section drew the most attention. It was called the Death World Predator exhibit. It was a place where the galaxy displayed creatures that had evolved on the most dangerous worlds known to science. Every visitor who came to the zoo wanted to see this area. The creatures inside were legendary. Some could crush steel, some could survive fire, and some could sense fear from meters away. The visitors walked through glass tunnels that curved like the roots of giant trees. Inside the enclosures, predators prowled and hissed. Creatures from hot planets, cold planets, and toxic worlds stared back at the crowds with bright and clever eyes. On this day, a small family of Valine arrived at the zoo. They were a gentle species with soft feathers instead of hair and large, bright eyes that reflected the light of twin suns. The parents were named Sira and Malin, and their curious young daughter was Kira. Kira was small even for her kind, but her curiosity was endless. She carried a small hollow recorder around her neck and pressed the button each time. She saw something amazing dot when they entered the Death World section. Kira gasped in awe. She saw enormous creatures with claws like blades, reptiles with hides as strong as armor, and insectoids that could melt rock with their venom. She pressed against the glass walls, wide-eyed, recording every movement. The parents read the signs beside each enclosure. Most had long names in alien languages, but all shared one description: Origin World, Death World Classification 7 or higher. Then they reached a massive enclosure at the far end of the hall. It was different from the others. The glass was thicker, the lights dimmer, and there was no sound inside. The space looked like it had once contained something, but now it stood completely empty. Kira tilted her head and squinted through the glass. There was a landscape inside, made to look like a small forest with patches of dirt, grass, and metal ruins. A single metal sign stood before it. The words were written in many galactic languages. In the Valine tongue, it read, "Exhibit closed, human habitat reconstruction in progress." Kira frowned. "Where are the humans?" she asked in her soft, bird-like voice. Her parents looked at each other, uneasy. Around them, other visitors noticed the sign too, but most avoided stopping. Some looked frightened, others whispered quickly and left. A few even made signs of respect or warning, as if speaking of humans might bring bad luck. Kira blinked at the empty cage. "Why is it closed? What is a human?" Her mother Sira gently pulled her back. "They are gone, dear. Long ago. Dangerous creatures from a very harsh world. They were not like us." "But this is a zoo," Kira said, confused. "Dangerous creatures are what everyone comes to see." Before her mother could answer, a quiet voice spoke from behind them. "Perhaps because they don't belong in cages." Kira turned around. Standing there was an old alien with gray skin and calm golden eyes. He wore a long dark robe with the zoo's insignia on his chest, the mark of a senior curator. "My name is Thalin," the old one said. "I see you are curious about the humans." Kira nodded eagerly. "Yes, sir. I have never seen one. The sign says they were from a death world. Why is their place empty?" Thalin walked closer to the glass. He stared through it as if he could still see the beings who once lived inside. "The humans were indeed from a death world, little one. Their home planet was called Earth. It was a world full of storms, predators, and poison skies. Yet somehow they survived. More than that, they thrived. They became one of the most feared and respected species the galaxy had ever known." Kira's eyes shone with wonder. "What happened to them?" Thalin gave a small smile that held both pride and sadness. "That is a question many have asked. Some say they destroyed themselves. Others believe they left the galaxy to find a new home. And a few think they are still here, watching from the dark places between the stars." The little Valine girl looked at the empty exhibit again. But they were real? Oh, yes, said Fallon. Very real. I met one long ago when I was a young keeper. Back then, the humans were not a mystery. They were part of the Council of Civilizations. They traded, they built colonies, and they even helped rescue worlds struck by disasters. But they were also feared. Many races called them Death Worlders, not because of what they did, but because of what they could endure. No other species came from such a dangerous planet. Yet instead of becoming monsters, they became explorers, engineers, and dreamers. Kira tilted her head. Then why did they put them in a zoo? Fallon chuckled softly. They were never prisoners. The humans helped design this very exhibit. They wanted the galaxy to learn about survival, about strength born from struggle. They created a living museum to show how life could adapt and overcome. For many years, they stood here, speaking to visitors and explaining how their species turned danger into progress. Kira tried to imagine that. Humans standing inside the glass enclosure, not as wild beasts, but as teachers. It seemed strange and wonderful at the same time. But one day, Fallon continued, they left. Without warning, their embassies closed. Their colonies went silent. Their home planet stopped sending signals. The humans simply vanished. The hull around them grew quiet. Even the distant hum of the air system seemed to fade. Kira felt a small chill run down her feathers. Maybe they died? Perhaps, said Fallon softly. Or perhaps they evolved. No one truly knows. Kira looked again at the empty habitat. Inside, the light dimmed slightly as if responding to their presence. A faint hum echoed from the floor, so soft that only she seemed to notice. Do you think they will come back? She asked. Fallon's golden eyes gleamed for a moment. If I have learned anything about humans, little one, it is that they always return when you least expect them. Sira placed a hand on Kira's shoulder. We should move along, dear. There are other creatures to see. Kira nodded but kept glancing back as they walked away. She could not stop thinking about the empty space. She had seen many powerful creatures that day, but none had felt so mysterious as they left the hall. Kira looked up at the giant screen above the exit. It showed the zoo's motto, "To know life, you must understand its struggle." For the rest of the visit, Kira recorded everything she saw, but her mind kept returning to that one empty place. She wondered what kind of creature could make the galaxy whisper its name in fear and respect at the same time. As the sun of the capital world set behind the crystal towers, Fallon stood alone before the human exhibit. The crowd was gone, and the lights dimmed. He placed his hand against the glass. You are right, he said quietly. They still don't understand you. He turned away, his old robes brushing the floor, but behind him the faint hum grew stronger. A small symbol flickered on the inside wall of the enclosure, a circle with blue lines crossing it. It was the symbol of Earth, glowing faintly in the darkness. No one saw it. No one except the silent security cameras that recorded everything. Deep within the zoo's central archive, an ancient file began to open by itself. The system registered an unknown signal coming from the closed exhibit. The file's title appeared on the screen for a brief moment before vanishing again. It read, Project Humanity, status, dormant. And then the lights in the Death World Predator wing flickered once, as if something long asleep had just taken a breath.
The day the human fleet arrived in the Andromedan capital, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Stars glittered in the sky above the city, as if celebrating. Citizens of countless species gathered in the streets and viewing platforms, craning their necks to see the ships approaching. The humans' vessels moved gracefully through space, their sleek shapes reflecting sunlight. The fleet was unlike any other the galaxy had seen. It was both a symbol of power and a promise of peace. Kira stood on one of the observation platforms, clutching the glowing crystal she had found months ago. Beside her, Thalon watched quietly, his eyes full of pride. "The time has come," he said softly. "The galaxy will finally meet humanity." Kira could feel her heart racing. She had read about humans, seen their memories, and studied their messages, but nothing could prepare her for seeing them in person. The fleet descended slowly, entering the central orbit above the capital world. Ships of many sizes glided into formation. The largest vessel, the flagship of the fleet, projected a message across every communication network. The holographic figure of Captain Arya Holt appeared, smiling and confident. "People of the galaxy," she said, her voice calm and strong. "We have returned not to conquer, not to rule, but to share what we have learned. Humanity has survived the deadliest worlds. We have seen destruction and hardship, yet we have also seen hope and kindness. We come to offer knowledge, protection, and friendship. We come to inspire, not to dominate." Across the galaxy, citizens paused. Many species had feared humans for centuries, believing the legends of Deathworlders. Others remembered stories of humans' courage and ingenuity. Arya's words carried weight, and slowly fear began to fade. On the ground, the zoo became a center of activity. Kira and Thalon were called to guide the first human representatives through the exhibits. Kira could hardly contain her excitement. For months, she had studied humans in memory and signal, but now she would meet them in person. The humans entered the zoo quietly, observing the habitats with fascination. They moved among the Deathworld predators with respect and caution. Even the most dangerous creatures seemed to sense that these humans were different. Captain Arya Holt walked alongside a small delegation of humans. She paused at the human exhibit, the very place that had inspired Kira's curiosity. The enclosure had been restored, no longer empty. Inside, displays and artifacts showed the history of Earth, struggles and victories of humanity, and the lessons they had learned. Kira's eyes widened as Arya looked directly at her. "So you are the one who found the memory of Earth," she said warmly. "Thank you for keeping it safe and for helping the galaxy understand us." Kira blushed, holding the crystal tightly. "I just wanted everyone to know who humans really are. I wanted them to understand that humans are not just strong, but also good." Arya smiled. "You understand well, little one? That is exactly what we hoped for." As the humans explored the zoo, they began to interact with other species. They shared techniques for growing food in harsh environments, building shelters that could withstand storms, and purifying water on worlds where it was scarce. They showed technology to heal wounds, repair damaged cities, and create energy from natural sources. Citizens of the capital world watched in amazement. They had feared the human strength, but now they saw it combined with kindness and wisdom. Kira noticed a group of young Valine children approaching the humans, asking questions about life on Earth. The humans answered patiently, teaching and inspiring curiosity. Thalon watched from a distance, quietly proud. He had known humans before, but he had never seen their impact so clearly. The galaxy was beginning to understand. Fear was fading, replaced by admiration and hope. Outside the zoo, the human fleet continued to orbit the capital world. Their presence was a reminder that the galaxy was not alone. Humans had survived the deadliest worlds, but they had also learned to survive together with others. Their return was a symbol of resilience, courage, and unity. Kira walked through the zoo, her eyes shining with excitement. She looked at the Deathworld predators and realized that humans, though once thought to be dangerous, had mastered the art of survival without harming others unnecessarily. They had turned strength into protection and ingenuity into guidance. She paused at the exhibit once more, gazing at the displays. The artifacts told the story of a species that had faced countless dangers, yet had never given up. They had built ships to explore the stars, tools to improve life, and knowledge to teach others. They had left the galaxy not because they were defeated, but because they were patient. Waiting for the right moment to return, Captain Arya Holt approached Kira again, kneeling to her level. "Do you see now why humans are called Deathworlders?" she asked. Kira nodded. "Yes, not because they were dangerous, but because they survived everything and still helped others. They are strong, clever, and kind. They are amazing." "Exactly. And now, little one, the galaxy will see what true courage looks like. Humans fight not just to survive, but to protect, create, and inspire. That is the lesson we bring." Kira felt a sense of pride. She had been part of this discovery. She had seen the humans' memory, helped understand their messages, and now watched them return. The galaxy would never be the same again. The council called a public meeting as the humans formally entered the capital system. Representatives from dozens of species gathered, some nervous, others excited. Captain Holt addressed them all. "We do not come to conquer. We do not come to dominate. We come to share what we have learned from our home planet and our journeys among the stars. Humanity has survived storms, predators, and hardships that would have ended other species. We have done this not to show power, but to show that life can endure, grow, and thrive."
Oh.
The room was silent. Many had expected a show of force or a threat, but instead they saw humility and wisdom. Slowly applause and expressions of admiration spread. Fear melted, replaced by hope and respect. Thalon turned to Kira. "Do you see? The galaxy is beginning to understand. Humans are more than strength. They are inspiration." Kira nodded. "Yes, they are heroes. And now, everyone will know it." Over the next weeks, humans moved openly among the stars. They rebuilt damaged colonies, taught new technologies, and shared knowledge with countless civilizations. Kira returned to the zoo every day, helping other visitors understand the humans' legacy. She told them stories of courage, resilience, and compassion. The Deathworld Predator exhibit, once a place of fear and mystery, became a museum of life and survival. The displays honored humans not as predators, but as protectors, teachers, and heroes. Visitors learned how humans faced danger, solved impossible problems, and helped others thrive. Kira watched children of all species gaze at the exhibits, eyes wide with wonder. They asked questions, laughed, and dreamed of new possibilities. Humanity's example inspired them to think bigger, to try harder, and to work together. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the capital world, Kira stood at the top of the zoo tower. The humans' fleet shone in orbit, and their presence was a symbol of hope. She held the glowing crystal in her hands, now a reminder of the lessons she had learned. Thalon joined her quietly. "You have done well, little one. You helped the galaxy see the truth. Humans are no longer just a story. They are living proof of what life can achieve." Kira smiled. "I never imagined it would be like this. They are amazing. And they helped everyone understand how to survive and grow," as Thalon said. "That is the gift of humanity. They survived the deadliest worlds, not for power, but to teach the galaxy the value of courage, knowledge, and compassion. That is the lesson you must never forget." Kira looked up at the stars, shining brighter than ever. Somewhere out there, humans watched, ready to continue their journey among the stars. And she knew that the galaxy would never be the same. Humans had returned. The legends were true. And now, every species, every child, and every citizen of the stars would learn that survival was not enough. Life could be extraordinary when courage, kindness, and determination were combined. Kira whispered to herself, "They are not just survivors. They are heroes." And in that moment, the Deathworld Predator exhibit no longer seemed empty. It was full of lessons, memories, and hope for all who walked among the stars. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy would shine brighter because of it. The galaxy had finally learned the greatest lesson of all. True strength is measured not by fear or force, but by courage, compassion, and the will to help others. And Kira knew, deep in her heart, that the story of humans would inspire generations to come.